Josh, would you tell us, why is care needed? Like, when we talk about gospel care, we're talking about our own stories, but kind of broadening the idea. Why would you say that care is needed in the church, but even just generally speaking?
Yeah. I think generally, just the brokenness of our world, which we're
Mm-hmm.
constantly inundated with. It's all around us. It's
Yeah.
in systems. It's in racial inequality. It's in poverty. It's in oppression. It's
Mm-hmm.
in bodies that are failing. It's in
Mm-hmm.
relationships that fail and have hurt and pain. We're just constantly living on this in this world, shown the brokenness around us, and it's not just
Yeah.
around us, right? I hope what I
Right.
displayed there, it's in us.
Yeah.
It's in me.
Mm-hmm.
It's very personal for us.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful. One thing I love about the scriptures is that God actually speaks to that. He doesn't have this sense that we do sometimes, like this, don't worry, be happy,
Mm-hmm.
be spiritual, it's all okay. He really, in the
Yeah.
scriptures, displays, as long as we're here on earth, as long as we're away from him, we're gonna experience this
Mm-hmm.
deep brokenness. And I know we both experience that personally, but also in the lives of the people that we're trying to care for. I wonder if you'd
Yeah.
even be willing to share, where do you
Totally.
see that come up in the lives of the people you're trying to care for?
Yeah, I think I see it in my own life, if I'm being honest, but in just the friends of mine that are parents, over the battle of wills over schoolwork or bedtime or food or whatever that is. But even just in walking with the people that I've walked with, a gentleman that I know who feels so overwhelmed by his responsibilities that he is kind of feeling the tug to numb out, or a friend walking through the grief of a death of a parent. I've seen this in an older friend validating after years abuses from long ago. Yeah, so I think that I like not only see this in my own life, but just reflected in the lives of people that I care about, just some real deep pain. What are some ways that you feel like you've been sort of walking with people?
Yeah. Same here. Just I feel like I see it so much, maybe because we're counselors, but
Yeah.
we have this wonderful lens into people are struggling, and so
Mm-hmm.
even this year, I'm meeting with a young girl who's struggling with panic attacks, constant feelings of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I've sat with a girl who's still struggling through just the experiences she had of being abused by her
Mm-hmm.
stepfather. I sat with a husband who is confessed an affair to his wife, and he's just, he's trying to win her back. He's trying to
Mm-hmm.
put the pieces back together.
Yeah.
Someone whose body's in chronic pain, that
Mm-hmm.
their experience of daily life is severe discomfort, and that there seems to be
Yeah.
no end in sight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think all of these stories that we get the opportunity to sit with just speak this story that is real suffering that we're all going through, and
Yeah.
it seems like sometimes we don't see that story, or we're telling a different story at times, maybe
Mm-hmm.
even more so in the church, that everyone is good or grand or life
Yeah.
is meant to be this, and I think
Mm-hmm.
we know that that's not true.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes me think of a conversation that we've had about the value of validating when we're in the middle, rather than sort of the tendency or the even the temptation to kind of look at what we're going through, hoping we can kind of put a bow on that. I think that there's a tendency amongst Christians to sort of look to that end, to that victory. And I think that there's a lot of value in that. I think that we can sort of learn and be encouraged by those moments of victory. But I think also we need to remember to balance that with the stories where it's kind of the not yet. We don't have that victory yet. We're not in that space yet. Because I think that sometimes when, if we are in the middle and we're just seeing the victories and victories and victories, it can maybe start to feel a little bit like, well, maybe I'm not praying enough, or I'm not Christian enough, or, what kind of having these questions of like, why am I not at that place? But I think that God really walks with us in that middle. And that's where we live a majority of our lives. We do get the blessing of having these victorious moments that we get to share. And I think that that's beautiful. And we also want to validate people's journeys and the fact that we are in the middle most of our lives, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we only hear stories from the end.
Yeah.
But the truth is that we're all in the middle.
Yeah.
And I'm going to speak to just you, the viewer, as we come into this next reflection. The things you've already written down tend to be the things that we feel like disqualify us from God's grace. When in reality, they're the very things we need grace for.
Yeah.
And they're the very reason that he gives grace. And then just give you even an image of hope that we're going to talk about. But those places of your life that, honestly, they're the places that often make us feel like we are unlovable. Or maybe that it's not for us. Those are the places I want to tell you now that God can actually use in you, not at the end of your story, in the middle of your story, even to encourage and care for other people. That's for you now. And so I want to encourage you as you go in to really reflect on more questions.